All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's walk and talk from the beautiful Isle of Man. Although it has been raining non-stop since yesterday and I got drenched, but we should be okay today. We're going to get started with some pretty crazy stories actually, firstly from the IRS. But before we do that, take a quick look at the views here. Look at this, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I know I am just in a shirt doing this walk. This is a bit like deja vu actually, because the last time I did this walk as well, it absolutely poured down with rain. I know many of you enjoyed me getting drenched, but we're going to start with the big story then, and that is the IRS, the Inland Revenue Service. Although what sort of a service they give you if you're an American, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure you would rather not have the service actually, but they have just announced a crackdown on, and you might say, oh good, but then wait for the punchline here. They've just announced a crackdown on over 1,600 millionaires who they think haven't paid their fair share of taxes, or they may have dodged some sort of taxes or something like that. And also they're talking about some companies as well that they're going to go after. Now, the reason this is really relevant to you is because if you actually read all the paperwork around that and what they're doing, it's quite interesting, because what they're trying to do right now is to get you on side, get public support right now for this crackdown. And that's where it's going to change. Because once you give your support and you say, oh yes, great, they're going after these millionaires, what they're actually doing is they're using AI to do it. And not just AI, but remember my viral video on the IRS where I broke the story about the change from a $10,000 reporting for your tax return down to just $600. And I think the reason that video went viral is because people went, oh, this guy again, he just makes stuff up all the time, blah, blah, blah. And then they realized, oh, actually, no, that was true. So not good. And accompanying that as well, I talked about all these military grade vehicles and weapons and all this special tactics and training and all these new officers that the IRS were going to be recruiting and training. And I said, hold on, is no one else seeing the writing on the wall here? Surely everybody else must be able to see what I'm seeing. No, it didn't appear that way. A lot of people could see it, but general public could not see it. So what are they going to do then with this AI that they're using? They need approval, obviously. So how are they getting it all through? Oh, we're going after tax dodgers and millionaires. Yeah, that's how they're going to get it through. But guess what they're going to do once they've gone after that group of people? And by the way, this begins in the next 2 weeks. I can tell you what's going to happen next. They're then going to go after everybody else. And it doesn't matter if it was an honest mistake or once you forgot to report that $10 that you got gifted over PayPal or something, or poor little Johnny, happy 6th birthday little Johnny from grandma, here's whatever amount of money. Oh well, that wasn't reported. It doesn't matter if it was a gift, you had to report that, blah blah blah, etc, etc. So it's incredible actually, all the things that are passing around AI and finance around AI at the moment, because this is moving at a rapid rate. In fact, a few of the YouTube finance guys played a joke on me last week. And they said to me, hey Neil, because we're in a group together, so they put it in the chat, what do you think of this new guy on the scene, this new finance guy? And I looked it over and I said, not bad. He's a little bit robotic in the way he, speaks and stuff. But yeah, the content was all right. And they then all laughed and said, yeah, that was completely AI generated. That is not a real person. That is all AI, including the avatar. So I couldn't believe it. And it just goes to show how advanced these things are now becoming, actually. Staying on the subject then of the US, I thought that you've got to listen to this, the irony of this. Let me read this statement out to you. The White House suppresses Biden impeachment. Should I use those words on this video? Is the AI going to pick that up and penalize this video? Yeah, I'm going to gamble. Like yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, please watch that video. That was a really good investigation I did, but straight away within the first hour, that video got just penalized. It didn't go anywhere. YouTube completely cut it off from browse results, which means the video is dead basically. But watch it, because there's certain videos they don't want you to see. But if, as long as you play the game with the algorithm, you don't break the rules, you can get away with certain things. So watch that video anyway if you want to know what's going on in the world of finance. So this is what, gosh, here we go. This is what they said. The White House has sent a letter to major US news executives urging them to critically scrutinize House Republicans for initiating an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. The White House spokesman emphasized that news organizations should avoid false reporting, arguing that the media's failure to robustly challenge misinformation perpetuates lies and confuses the public discourse and can result in actions. Ooh, I wonder what these actions might be against the News Corp. Isn't the media supposed to be independent, by the way? I thought it was. Not. I think we all know the media is not independent. Gosh, the irony of it for this impeachment thing. And you think of whether you love or hate the former president. I won't use his name. That'll definitely get me penalized or whatever they'll do. Stop it going out in search. Yeah, what about it was non-stop trials. Again, whether you love or hate him, you've got to look at this objectively and see that it's pretty crazy the way all of this is done. Well, the water is running quite strong today. Let's have a look on the other side here. It's been raining non-stop, so this is normally just a really gentle, beautiful little, well, it's still pretty gentle, isn't it? But yeah, it's still raining here. It's been raining since yesterday, which is funny because last week it was red hot here. Well, red hot for the Isle of Man. It was about as hot as it gets last week here. And then this week the temperatures dropped and it's raining non-stop. But to be honest, I don't mind the rain. I like walking around in the rain. And I'll say one other thing. If you remember the time I made the joke about that group of tough guys who just cried off on the walk because it was raining, I just walked past a group of young people. They're probably about 17, 18, and they were in their hiking gear and they were absolutely drenched up here. So I guess there is still hope for the younger generation. Although, if you've heard what California has just passed, which links in with my video yesterday, let me read this one out to you. California's Senate Bill 253 mandates, we know what that means, companies with over 1 billion in revenue to disclose GHG, so their greenhouse gas emissions. This affects an estimated 5,400 firms, including major tech and oil companies. Critics warn that this is going to drive out even more businesses from California. Well, yeah, of course it is. The more regulation and the more taxes that you put onto businesses, the more it drives them out. Look at me moving my business from the UK over to the Isle of Man. Doing business here, well, actually, I was going to say is a breeze. It's not. It's easy in regards to regulations and other things like that. Super, super easy. It's really good to have a business here. But it is difficult to get banking because everyone just assumes that you're some sort of a tax dodger and everything else. I see that in the comments all the time, by the way. People say, oh, Neil's moved to the Isle of Man. He's a tax dodger, pays 0% taxes. That is not true. I don't know where this has come from, this incorrect rumor that everyone keeps saying that people in the Isle of Man don't pay taxes. They pay pretty much the same rate of tax as people in the UK as employees up to a certain threshold. They basically cap it out at 20%. That's the only difference, whereas the UK will go up to 45% in tax. So that is the only difference. Is that really being a tax dodger? No, I personally don't think so. But anyway, people love to put those sort of things in the comments every day. But it's quite clear what this new bill will do in California as well, because they say that it doesn't just affect that company, it affects all the companies that they deal with. Even if that company turns over $1,000 a year, right, up and down the supply chain, it doesn't matter. They have to collect the data from those companies. So it's exactly what we were talking about on yesterday's video. It's just the weaponization of finance and capital now. There's not going to be any way to escape some of these measures that are coming through. And just a quick weekly reminder, I try not to say it on every single video, if you haven't took my psychology of wealth accumulation course yet, the link for that is below in the description. Definitely check that out and use coupon code YouTube to get 75% off the course. I know a lot of you have done it now, and you can read everyone's testimonials and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into testimonials and stuff like that today, but the testimonials speak for themselves, so definitely check out that course. Now, another thing that people have sent me this week is this whole CBDC or anti-CBDC bill from Tom Emmer. So he's reintroduced the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act on the 12th of September. So this is aiming to stop the Federal Reserve from using CBDC as surveillance tools. So this was actually introduced initially in January of 2022, but it got very, very quickly sort of brushed under the carpet. So I guess this guy has now pulled it back up. But let me just say, ladies and gents, don't get your hopes up with this. It is not going to make any difference at all. I can tell you that with almost 100% certainty. Do you really think that one or two senators or politicians are going to be able to stop this massive wave of global financial control via CBDCs? It's not going to happen. The people who control the finances are never going to get or let go of that. You know, if you understand about the spirit of mammon, okay, that's what it is. People who have huge amounts of, in fact, I was about to say the word wealth, but I think wealth is different. I'm going to use the word greed instead, because when I talk about wealth, I don't just mean money. I mean wealth in all areas of your life. Would you be able to, in the middle of the working week for most people, would you be able to go for a walk every day for a couple of hours if you wanted to? If you had a family member that became ill right now, unwell, and needed some medical procedure, would you be able to just fly them somewhere to have a private treatment at the best place? This is what I mean when I talk about wealth. It's about having money to be able to facilitate a good life and help and contribute to charities and help in those ways, really. But these people who control all the money, they don't think about wealth in the same way. Because for some people, it doesn't matter how much money they get, it will never be enough. You know this, you've seen it as well. For some people, it doesn't matter how much they get, it will never be enough money. And sadly, they have a lot of control. In fact, they have almost all the control, let's be honest, because you can buy pretty much anything or anyone you want if you have enough money. You can either do it the Solomon way or the Machiavellian way, but either way, these people are gonna win out until they don't, because you always have this swing from good to evil and then evil back to good. You just have to reach tipping point, or that critical mass of people who eventually say, enough is enough, I'm not going to stand for these things anymore. But we're actually seeing certain things now move. I saw it in an article today on a supermarket who are now putting up warning signs in their supermarket saying that the prices are so high because the suppliers refuse to lower the prices, and they're doing shrinkflation at the same time. So you've actually got supermarkets. Let me tell you which one this is. It's called Carrefour. I've never heard of it, but it's some sort of huge French supermarket. They're warning all of their customers about this price gouging from some of these big suppliers. So the main ones they're going after are Unilever, PepsiCo, who else we got? Nestle. This is all inflation that they're doing and keeping prices high, even though it says that prices have now come down in terms of raw materials. So they've got all this evidence to back this up, and they're saying that these costs are just not being passed on. Another big story that broke over the last 24 then is about Wall Street and all of these used cars. This is a crazy one. So what they're saying is that Wall Street is starting to pull back then on all of these car financing and car companies. And there's a lot of investigations going on as well, because there's all these kill switches that have been fitted to cars. And now they're saying, ooh, who approved all of these kill switches? Because now when they want to repossess a car, if someone doesn't pay, they've said that they've just been turning on this kill switch, especially in electric cars. So this is one thing that we actually talked about, if you remember a while back. I said, 15-minute cities, oh, smart meters, electrical grid, etc., etc. Let's use all the keywords here. We talked about all of these things, and I said that these kill switches will be fitted into electric cars. I actually didn't know that they were already fitting them. So this is this new big inquiry, investigation going on into all of these kill switches on electric cars. Not just that, but a lot of them had trackers in as well. So if they were on some sort of finance or the loans hadn't been paid in full, then the bailiffs could actually use this technology to locate the vehicle and then use the kill switch so they could actually kill the car there and then. All of this to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, although not me personally. Let me just add, there's no kill switch on any of my vehicles. Good old-fashioned vehicles is what I've got. Another interesting story then that's just come out is JP Morgan has said the S&P 500 is overvalued by 2.7 to 3.9x. That is insane. And they're quoting the fact that global GDP is, you're going to love this number. Are you ready? 333%. 333%. Is GDP to debt ratio globally right now. What else did I mention as well last month about the CPI, or when I talked about inflation? I said just wait for these oil prices to hit the economy in terms of fuel and stuff. Well, guess what's just happened now? We've had a higher print, 0.6% higher for August. Why? Because of the oil price. We talked about this a lot last week actually, but this is all going to feed into the inflation, and the BRICS plus, or actually let's say the OPEC plus nations are playing a very, very tight game here with the oil supply. So that's why we're seeing some high, well, there's a lot of reasons, but it's one of the reasons we're seeing higher prices at the moment. So honestly, just make sure you know what you're doing if you're in the S&P, if you're investing in the markets and stocks and things like that. I mentioned my macro stock market course in yesterday's video, and I know a few people got that and reached out, via email and stuff, and said that they were getting the course because of their pension and all these other things. They were worried how their funds were being managed with all the ESG stuff. As soon as I mentioned the ESG, I think a lot of people went, hold on, I've seen that all over my report at the moment with the ESG stuff. All right, let's cut across country here then. All right, let's get on to the crazy stories of the week then. I know you love these because I do. Right, here's the crazy one. Let's start with this. Tiny homes, it's cozy and cheap, but do you want to live in this social media magnet? Nope. I think I'll pass on living in a skip, aka for the Americans, a dumpster. Why people would want to live in that, I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, let's just draw a line under that one right away. Second story then, Steven Seagal. You will remember him from back in the day. He has built a bulletproof mansion out in Arizona. Yeah, he said, and I quote, he's now ready for the apocalypse. Whoa, if we got Steven Seagal prepping like that, maybe more of you should be prepping yourself. And then we got two more then. Number one was this attack on a robo-taxi. Some crazy guy with an axe Well, is he crazy? Maybe he's not crazy. Maybe it was very calculated. With an axe, just attacks this robo taxi. Man, it's pretty crazy actually how advanced these robo taxis have now become. I wouldn't be surprised if we get. Remember how all the taxi drivers had that massive fight with all the Uber drivers? Now it's going to be the taxi drivers and the Uber drivers attacking these robo taxis because they're going to be taking their jobs at a massive, massive rate and scale. But I've got to save the best one till last because this hasn't got almost any media attention whatsoever. Mexico has just revealed some alien bodies. Yes, this is completely legitimate. So they're saying it is the first time any government in the entire world has acknowledged the existence of extraterrestrial life. I mean, this is a weird one. Although if you've seen some of these other channels like Gaia and things like that, you'll see that there's loads of this sort of evidence and loads of stuff like that of alien bodies and whatever else. This stuff's been going on for a long time. And I could talk a lot on my theories with all the alien stuff, but I don't want to lose the non-hardcore from the channel. So I think I'll probably wrap it up there for today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I always enjoy the Friday walk and talk. It's my favorite video of the week. And I also get to promote my courses, which I hope you will take advantage of. The link is below in the pinned comment and description. But apart from that, I'll see you on the next video. Take care. God bless you. And I'll see you very soon.